Hi, it's Matt McCoy here from RCVRY Life, and it's my second vlog. And today's subject is really RCVRY Life itself and the purpose and why I began RCVRY Life, and just to kind of talk a little bit about the difference between RCVRY Life and the recovery program. So RCVRY Life is really my opportunity to have a forum, I guess, to help people and to talk about the subject of recovery, addiction. My own addiction is alcoholism, so I guess that's my speciality, if you can class it as that. So it's really to express my thoughts, my views, and to offer help to anyone else out there that's suffering from addiction. I know firsthand how it can be debilitating. I know that it can wreck lives, and I know it can take you to a very, very low and dark place. But I also know that in recovery, you can totally turn it around. And I've seen some amazing success stories of people that have been in the depths of addiction and they found recovery and totally turned their lives around. I'm actually one of them. You know, I've been sober now for some years, and when I compare my life now to what it was when I was an active alcoholic rather than a recovering alcoholic, I actually feel like a completely different person, and my life represents that. My life is totally different. The chaos has gone from it, and it's a much calmer place. I'm a much better person, and I can look back on the time that I was an active alcoholic, and I can in some ways sympathise with that person I was, because it is a disease. I truly believe that, and I would have that discussion with anyone that says it's not. And I also, I guess, sometimes feel a sense of detachment from that person. The things that person did, the things that person said, the way that they acted, because of the influence of alcohol, not always under the influence of alcohol at the time, but certainly under the influence of alcoholism, is not the way that I would ever act or think of acting now. So yes, RCVRY Life is my forum to do just that: help people in addiction, help people that think that they may be suffering from addiction, offer advice, offer the benefit of my knowledge, and give other people the opportunity as well for them to take part in the website and share their experiences. I think one of the things that I found, and one of the benefits of 12-step programs, for example, it's that feeling almost belonging. There are other people out there that suffer in the same way as you. There are people that have a story, and I always say this, that everyone's stories are different, but the journey is quite similar a lot of times. And I know that when I first came into recovery, and I'll share my story probably in another vlog, my story really began from going into a residential rehab. But from there, finding 12-step program, finding Alcoholics Anonymous, and just the realisation that I wasn't alone, and that this disease wasn't unique to me. There were other people from all walks of life, some older, some younger, some more successful seemingly in life, some not so. You know, alcoholism and addiction doesn't discriminate against sex, race, creed, sexuality at all. It can affect anyone. So that actually, perversely, a long way around of saying, that kind of gave me strength. As soon as I realised that I as a person wasn't broken, it wasn't me, it wasn't my soul that was broken, it was disease. Kind of gave me some strength to come through it. So I think it's important now that I give something back. So hence RCVRY Life. The recovery program is a program that I formulated, that I've kind of nurtured and used to help myself first and foremost, and to help other people. And the reason I founded the program, should I say, is I've got nothing but good things to say about Alcoholics Anonymous. And if you are suffering from addiction, or you think you may be, then I would certainly say that should be your first port of call, is get yourself along to meetings. It certainly probably saved my life. But I also found that the meetings that I was attending took me so far. They certainly kept me clean and kept me sober, and so that is a miracle in itself, especially in the early days of recovery. But they only took me to that place where I kind of became clean and sober, and I found I had to keep going to the meetings, and that's very much a mantra of the meetings, to ensure that I maintain that sobriety. One of the reasons for founding the recovery program is I think, and I hope, it takes people through that first barrier of maintaining sobriety, and takes them further on, takes them kind of further and nearer to realising their true potential in life. So The recovery program is based on 5 pillars. Physical, because I believe that for you to be to realize your potential, you need to have an element of physical wellness. And when I say physical wellness, I'm always really keen to stress this. I do not mean that you're a gym bunny. I do not mean to say that you're lifting weights and that you've got the body of a surfer or anything like that. It just means that you're eating good, nutritious food. So you're putting the fuel in your body that's good for you, and that you have a level of physicality every day. So for me, that's doing 15,000 steps. It could be different for everyone, but it's just ensuring that physically you're in a good place. So I know that when I was an active alcoholic, again, I didn't look after myself physically. If I did eat, I ate rubbish. Did I do any physical exercise? Not really. And that has lots of knock-on effects, not just directly to your visible health, but also to your self-esteem, to your mental health, etc., etc. So then from physical, we go to mental. So I think mental health is a very close relation of addiction, or poor mental health is. And so the second pillar of the program, or the second element, as I call it, is mental health. And really within this program, it's teaching you the tools to maintain good mental health, and giving you the tools if you are suffering from a mental health issue or a mental health illness, giving you some of the tools that may help you through that. Now, I'm not a psychologist, so I can't solve everything, and I wouldn't profess to doing that, but we will teach you certain techniques, CBT, for example, that will help you realize if you're suffering from anxious thoughts or depressive thoughts, some exercises that may help you through that. So the third element, or the third pillar, is spirituality. And the first thing I'm going to point out straight away, because it's what I get asked all the time, is when I say spirituality, I'm not talking religion. Personally, I respect religion, but I'm not religious. But I do nurture and focus and look after my spiritual side. So the best way I can describe it for the purpose of this vlog is it helps you to look after your own kind of well-being outside of the physical and outside of your neuro-mental health. So if you imagine yoga, that's probably the best way to describe what I mean when I talk about spirituality. It's exercises, it's looking after things like your chakras. And so as soon as I say that, people say, oh my God, that's a little bit kind of wishy-washy. Well, it's not actually. It's actually scientifically and medically proven that we do have these energy centers called chakras in our body, and they're incredibly easy actually to nurture and look after with the right exercises, and it can have a profound effect on how you feel and your energy levels. So we do teach a side of spirituality, and like a lot of things in life, you can go as far and as deep into that as you wish. The fourth pillar or element is environment. So where we live, where we work, how we travel to work, just our everyday existence, the places that we operate in, how do they impact us? How do they impact how we feel? And so I think it's really important that the spaces that we inhabit every day are positive for us. So we don't always notice what they are or what they do to us, particularly if they're negative. We certainly know when we're in a good place, because we say, oh my God, this is a great place to be. This is a nice room. This is a nice park that I'm walking in. But what we don't always notice is sometimes when it's a negative place, because it doesn't feel like it's stimulating anything in us. But actually what it is doing is having a negative effect on our psyche. So we help you realize that. We help break down your day and look at the different areas and environments that you're in, and some really just easy tips and tricks to help you make them a better place for you. Then lastly, it's probably my favorite one to talk about, but I'll keep it short because I realize I've been talking for some time now for a vlog, is purpose. So in active addiction, our purpose is seldom anything other than selfish purpose, which could be getting your next hit, getting your next drink, and that's kind of what our life revolves around. Well, it's really, really important in recovery that you have another purpose or other purposes. So it can be something like a hobby. You may be learning to play the guitar. You may want to get fit. You may want to run a marathon. It may be something much smaller. You may just want to decorate a room. You may want to build a website. It can be lots of things. It can be one thing, lots of things, but it's important that you have a purpose, and that's really giving you a focus outside of addiction. So particularly in the early days where you may feel a lot of temptation and you may be tempted to go back to using having a purpose or something that you're aiming towards, something that gives you motivation and makes you want to get up in the morning and get into, is really, really important. So that's a really quick snapshot around the 5 elements of the recovery program. And the last thing I'll say about it is the reason this program is so successful is because we address all 5 of those pillars, all 5 of those elements together. My belief is that no single one works on their own. They need to combine. That's it from me. We will be producing another video soon that will explain that in much more better detail, much more professionally. In the meantime, it's Friday night here, so I wish you all well. I hope you're sober, I hope you're clean, and I hope you have a great weekend. Take care. Bye.